in store for you this afternoon. I must just complete the story of the broomstick, of course. Now, the reason that Byron got gears from me and many others, in fact, I remember the words I used. I said, "You took on the world's largest land mammal with a broomstick. Is that what you're telling me?" To which, of course, Byron replied, "Yes, that's what I did." And, it was my humble opinion, and it wasn't delivered in a humble fashion at all, of course, that he should have disappeared off the road, away from the elephant, as soon as it had seen him. We will disagree with each other until our dying days, but I always love the story of the broomstick, because he had to do a whole lot more walks as a result of his actions with the elephant. Right. Let us take to the air, but not above Djuma. Not this time. We are going above Chitwa. There it is. That is Chitwa Dam with Drone Commander Connor Teagues, and we're looking at the hippopotami. And he is slowly panning to some more hippopotami. And I can't see which side of the dam he is. Oh, he's at the northern side. That's the entrance of the Molwanini drainage there. That's interesting. Coming into the top of the dam. So he's looking due east at the moment and now moving north. There's a big red-billed buffalo weaver's nest on which the geese nest. There are the Botanical, I think, flying towards the lodge there. I think those could easily be the Botanical that have taken offence at Brother Connor's drone. That is Chitwa Lodge itself. Beautiful lodge, I must confess. I think it would be very pleasant spending a few nights there. There you can see all the hippos. And I think what you'll find is that there's a main pod of hippos, of females and youngsters and a big bull. And then those others dotted around are probably young bulls who are not really welcome in the main pod anymore, but they're not too much of a threat. And there is Connor himself on the dam wall. And Connor hates to be in shot, so he'll be very upset that he's got himself in shot. Now, I would be most impressed if Connor Teagues could take us towards the greenish section there. That's it. If you could get up above the greenish section there, Connor, that would be wonderful. And then zoom in and see if we can't find the crocodile. See how he is responding almost immediately. There be the beastly thing in front of the green. Well done, Connor. Look at the beastly crocodilian there, lurking, waiting for some hapless poor creature to come down and have a drink, from whence it will be grabbed from this life and sent to the next by the jaws of one of the most ancient animals on all the earth. Ugh. That's a lovely colour, that sort of algae there. But that is the crocodile. Well done, Connor. There's another one if you want to try and find it, somewhere knocking about there. And then if you wouldn't mind, I know this is going to freak you out, but if you wouldn't mind going... Oh, they're the geese. They're the geese. That's very cool. They're moving around. I don't know why the crocodile hasn't eaten all of those geese, because they're always hanging around where it's really very obvious. Now, Connor, what I would very much like you to do, we've obviously got the hippo, but I would quite like you to get to sort of your eye level and hover that drone in front of the vehicle, because it will give a lovely perspective of how high the dam wall is and how close we can get. So we'll just have a look at the hippo first. There they all are. And I think this is going to take a little while. Now, we've spoken quite a lot about habituation, and these hippos are going to take a little while to get used to it. There we go. That's what I wanted. Isn't that nice? That's so cool. See the hippo going under the water there? And that's because the drone is making a noise, obviously. It's going vrrrr. And what we want is, over the course of time, for the hippo to get completely used to it, exactly as they have got completely used to the vehicles. There we go. They're already getting used to it. Oh, that's fantastic. Look at them. Those are the youngsters. Sort of away from the main pod, I imagine. Still a little bit nervous, but that's okay. They're not being chased from the water, so they won't be nervous for long. And with any luck, they will become habituated very soon. How cool is that? So this is our first visit to Chitwa in the drone, everyone. And we'll do a lot more experimenting from here. Now, the other thing I'd like Connor to do, I want to see how much his range is from there. He's got a range of about 400 meters or so, which is about a quarter of a mile. Now, if you go due south from there, Connor, maybe up a bit and due south over the top of the lodge, there's some beautiful clearings, and I don't know if you're able to do that from where you are now. If not, just tell Kirsten that I'm being ridiculous and too demanding, and we can do it later. Yeah, now if you go straight over the top of the lodge there, turn a little bit more to, that's it. Now you want to go straight over that way. Gorgeous. There's the airstrip you can see. A little bit further to the right if you can. And yesterday, Taylor had the most beautiful sighting of elephants in the sunset on those clearings now that you can see just the other side of that mast. And to me, this is the Chitwa highlight, these clearings here. Lots of animals love to be in them. They're easy to see and they look so very natural. And I think that's the Chitwa highlight for me. And down to the south there, you can see into Mala Mala. And as Connor turns to the east, that's facing Cheetah Plains. And now coming back towards Chitwa Lodge. This is just beautiful. Isn't that amazing? There's the back of house at Chitwa. The enormous mast that they have there. And the water hole. Oh, that's great. And I think the most beautiful lodge in the northern Sabi Sand. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that or not. But I did. I said it anyway. And there are the hippos. Very contented now. Little rafts of them. You know, chaps chewing the breeze, as it were. No, you don't choose the breeze. You shoot the breeze. Chew the cud. Having a chin wag. And then I think off towards the mouth there of the Molwanini drainage, you'll find the main pod. And the beastly crocodile. In fact, you can just see him there. He's just behind them. Remember, any questions, you're welcome to send through, even while the drone is live. There's some oxpeckers leaping off the hippos. Hashtag Safari Live, questions at WildEarth.tv. Be lovely to hear from you. And hear your impressions here of the Chitwa Dam from the air. Now, the reason, of course, all that greenery is there on the northwestern side of the dam is because the prevailing wind here, of course, is southeast, which means it's all being blown along the top of the surface. Oh, look at that enormous territorial yawn. And look how shallow the water is. I thought it was much deeper than that. So he's basically just stood up. There's a whale in the bottom right there, blowing out. Obviously not a whale. And so they're lying in some pretty shallow water. I thought that was much deeper. That can't be there for more than 3.5 feet deep at an outside maximum. Wow. Okay, so all the green is in the northwest corner because of the prevailing wind being a southeaster. Beautiful. And then, Connor, I wonder if we couldn't just look into the top of the red-billed buffalo weaver's nest that's just gone out of picture on the left-hand side. If you wouldn't mind trying to get to the top of that one. So if you go left, from there, it's amazing. He's a chap respond. No, that's right, Connor. Left, sir. Left. No, not that one. Not that one, the other one, in the middle of the water, because in it is an Egyptian goose nest. There we go. Yes, that one. That one right there. You can get right above it and look straight down on top of it. That would be marvelous. There we go. There you can see, well, the red-billed buffalo weavers are the most sort of enthusiastic builders there. But then also you've got some village weaver nests and, with any luck, the eggs of an Egyptian goose nest. How cool is that? You may have just heard from behind me, Taylor's watching this. She said, no ways. And exactly, no ways. How cool is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 or so eggies. Hold still, Connor. I'm getting nauseous. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 maybe eggies. 2 dozen eggies. Well, if we run out of eggs in camp, we now know where we're going to come and get some more. How fantastic is that? That might be shot of the day. We've had boomslang, we've had... we have had no, we haven't. I've just been given some astounding news. Okay, I don't know who we're going to. Anyway, we have had some snakes, we've had bush babies, and we've always... we've got wild dogs apparently at the tent or the power lines. Who has seen the wild dogs, Kirsten? Kirsten, who has seen the wild dogs? There's a nyala. I can hear Brent racing there. There's a nyala looking at us. There's Brent going past. You might just be able to see him. Good grief, if we could have wild dogs at the tent, that would be too wonderful. Sorry, I got overexcited there, everyone. So overexcited, I'm still with my friend Caterpillar here. All right, let's head straight across to Brent to find out what's happening. We'll stay here and watch out what's going on.
We just got a report of wild dogs running across quarantine. We're sitting with Karula. We've left her, and we're trying to catch up with where the dogs are. Oh, it's so exciting to come back to wild dogs. I see the car. Now, where are the dogs? Now, of course, with wild dogs, if any of you have not been on a vehicle with wild dogs, they're my favorite animal. They make me very excited. They also move very fast. We'll try our best, but also with the roof on, it could prove a little... There they are! A bit difficult. Hello, puppies! Look at that. Now, I'm trying to see which pack it is. Looks to be only 3 dogs, so it could be one of 2 packs. But we need to see if there's a male dog with the 3 very distinct white spots on his side. And that would mean it's the Lower Sabi breakaway pack from the Lower Sabi. 1 second, I've just got to... If they're heading towards Gallagher Mighty on that small Ndlela now. Copy. There we go. They're mobile towards Gallagher Mighty. Oh, so exciting! There's 2 stations here. I'm not sure if there was a 3rd making the way. Look at that. I love the white tips to their tail. They look like they've actually had a meal today already. But they are insatiable. Well, they have insatiable appetites at least. Now, there's a good chance they might find Inyala, Impala, Duiker, Steenbok all in this area. Unfortunately, yes, if they do go off the road, it is near impossible to follow them through this area without a roof on. And we do have a roof on because it has been raining constantly throughout the day. Fingers crossed they stay on the road. Now, the most incredible thing is there are only about 3,500 to 4,000 wild dogs left in the wild in the whole of Africa. They are the most endangered carnivore in southern Africa, or large carnivore in southern Africa, and they're the 2nd most endangered canid in the world. There's only one other member of the dog family who's more endangered than the African wild dog, and that is the Ethiopian wolf. No, don't go that way. That is a bad way to go, wild dogs. Thank you very much, Susie. Susie says, just Brent's luck to have wild dogs on his first day back. I'm trying to plan what to do next. I'm going to try go around because I think we're not going to get in there with the roof. Oh, Oopsie daisies. There's a little and a big animal path that goes up on the other side, opposite the Gallagher waterhole, and I think that's going to be our best bet. Oh, what a busy Saturday afternoon. Lions, leopard, wild dog. Who knows what's going to be next? Oh, looks... Oh, we caught up with them again. Oh dear. They've just ducked down here. There we go, you can just see them going through the bush there. I say it's near impossible to keep up with them through this stuff. Trying to think. Okay, yeah, that's going to be the plan, and hopefully it looks like they might go down towards the Chitwa Dam eventually if they keep in that. Brian, can we see behind me? Are we good? Oh, there's a tree. Stop. I stopped. Now, these little drainage systems or little dry riverbeds, like the dogs have just moved into here, are areas that they really like to hunt, and two of their favorite foods, and bushbuck and nyala, will often be around these areas, and they literally course up and down. Oh, I've lost. Oh, my ears aren't working. We're heading for this open area in front of us. Let's just have a quick look. If we can see them from here, they should be about to appear in front of us unless they've changed their mind. It looks like they've changed their mind. Oh dear, well, we try find them again. Let's go see what Jamie is up to.
Well, that is something that's certainly going to have made Brent's day. Return to work and a wild dog sighting straight off the bat. Very, very exciting. As you can see, we all get very worked up, very excited when we see wild dogs. I'm curious to know which particular dogs they are, because it seems as though, if I look back on it, last year we saw the Investic pack and the Sands pack regularly with their pups, and I don't think we've seen a wild dog pup this year. Have we? No, I don't think we have on our live safaris. So I raced all the way there to go and help Brent out, because of course we've both got the roofs on, which makes going through the bush a little bit more tricky. But because there are so many vehicles that are interested in having a chance to see the wild dogs, I've decided Vim and myself will go for a nice easy afternoon bumble instead. Rather than racing through the bush and dodging branches, we're just enjoying the beautiful green scenery and the cool evening air. I did promise that we'd go back to those lions, and we will go back to those lions. There is a very good chance, because it's nice and cool this evening, and because it's been raining, there's a very, very good chance that they're going to start roaring. So stick around to see whether or not they do that. I'm not going to go back to them just yet. I'm going to do a quick surveillance of Arathusa and see what's happening around Red Dam. And then we'll come back and we'll have a look and see what those lions have been up to. Sorry, I'm also listening with half an ear to what's happening with the wild dog sighting and where they're going and what they're up to. But it is interesting, because of course now I've been here for over a year, nearly 2, and it's been interesting to watch the shifts in dynamics from one year to the next. And of course the biggest difference now is the proper rainfall. That's made an enormous difference as to what we're seeing. But the change in the pack dynamics, for example, the Investic pack and the Sands pack not being anywhere around, the addition of lion cubs. It's a very, very different start to 2017. Now, Suzanne, while we bumble along looking for something to show you, you want to know why it is that wild dogs are endangered. The answer, it's a complicated answer. Not everything is known about why it is that wild dog populations don't manage to succeed. And I think there's a really horrifying statistic that most wild dogs don't make it past their 5th year. So they are not fragile things, but they have been through some decimating population problems. So the biggest one, of course, is habitat loss. So for the longest time, they've been seen as vermin. And as farms took over, they were seen as a threat to livestock and shot on sight. They need a huge amount of space, and what happens is the reserves get smaller and smaller and smaller and fenced in, which means you've got a higher concentration of lions in certain areas, not so much here, which is why the Kruger has one of the largest populations, the largest population in South Africa. But you get a high concentration in lions, you immediately get a low population of wild dogs. And then diseases, they're also incredibly susceptible to canine distemper. And of course, because they are so closely related to dogs, it's very easily transmitted to them. So you've got reserves in close proximity to human settlements, and you get the spread of disease, which is why they've all been there's a big call for inoculating all of the wild dog packs throughout South Africa and throughout Africa against such a disease. I know that a pack was wiped out by rabies recently. So it is a very difficult life for a wild dog at the moment. Luckily, I hope we seem to be winning that battle. Wild dog populations seem to be improving ever so slightly. Right, we've seen things from the air. Now let's go and have a look at things from Ronald's perspective.
We are going to have a look at Ronald's view, but just to keep you posted, it looks to me from the GPS, which has now died, that the wild dogs could be coming down towards Chitwa Dam, where we have our good friend Ronald. And Ronald has achieved a wonderful sunset shot there. He's very pleased to be back out and meeting you, and we'll just give him a little turn and you can see what's going on. Come on, Ronald. There we are. Well done. We'll just go all the way around. And then what we're going to do is mount that little knoll over there. The picture is slightly frozen, which makes me a bit nervous, because of course it does mean that I could drive Ronald clean over the edge of that little knoll by mistake. And then if the wild dogs come down towards the dam, Ronald will see them and he will alert us immediately. Won't you, Ronald? Yes, good. There we are. So we're going to position Ronald there, just for in case the wild dogs come down. And we don't have the dam cam, do we? No, we don't. Okay, we'll go back to the dam cam in the next few days. Brent has got the dogs. I don't know where they're going. Let's go and find out.
Oh, that's weird. There we go, we caught up with them. They are very close to our boundary. Look at that, isn't that absolutely splendid? We did manage to catch up with them. They are heading towards the north, so there's a chance they're going to cross over our northern boundary, but it's still great even to spend a few moments with my favorite animal, Lichen Pictus, the painted wolf. We just now need to try maneuver back towards the road and try and get one last glimpse of them before they cross our boundary. Okay, they should be out in the open here. So, from what I can see, it looks like the lower Sabi pack. Well, there they are. Oh, they're moving fast. No, don't go to the boundary. So it looks like I saw the male with the 3 white spots on his side, which lets me know that it is the lower Sabi pack, or the remnants of. There used to be a much bigger pack, but a lot of them died of canine distemper last year. Yes. I'm sure I'm now heading east along Buffelshoek Cutline. A-firm-F, make your way, there's only 2 stations. Look at that, I just love that profile and those radar ears. Let's get a bit closer. Turn south. Everyone say in your head, turn south, wild dogs. Let's go catch an impala at the Djuma Pan. I think that's a splendid idea. Frana is wondering, are these wild dogs like the ones you get in Australia? They're not. Those are called dingoes. This is actually called an African wild dog. And they're quite far separated from the rest of the dog family. They split around 1.6, 1.7 million years ago, and their dental structure is actually different. It's made for tearing and ripping up of meat, and of course that is what they eat. And they've also got an extra toe. Now this is really exciting. Ooh, looks like I might have spotted something. Look at that body language change. The female. Did she hear something or did she see something? Now there's a good chance there could be some impala up in this area. And of course wild dogs, look, oh, really love baby impala. The most I've seen them kill in a single sighting was 9. And if Connor is close by, it definitely might be worthwhile getting Connor into the area. Hopefully he's back from Chitwa, because that would be incredible, because we might lose them, especially with our roof on, as they are jogging down. I think she's seen something. I just watch her ears every now and then. No, maybe not. Now, whatever they see, it needs to be to the right, or at least run to the right. See, I don't know, I think she might have heard something. Isn't this just spectacular? Now there's a good chance. No, don't go that way. Yeah. Darn it! Dag nabbit. I was really hoping they were going to go that way, or chase something that way at least. I think we might get, yeah, one last glimpse as they run off to the north. Bye. Sure, they crossed quickly as well. There they are, Brian. There we go. Brian's got them. Oof, bye, guys. Well, a nice little visit from my favourite creature. I think we'll make our way back towards Queen Karula. And, well, always nice to spend some time with the wild dogs. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks very much. Oh, very nice to see the dogs. Yeah. Yes, so we're actually live. We're broadcasting live at the moment. So there's a couple of thousand people all around the world watching. Yes, we got the wild dogs on the camera. Yeah. Cool. Cheers, cheers. Sorry about that. Every now and then we do get some new people in the area, and they're fascinated about the camera. Not Brian, just the camera, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, Brian. Okay, well, we're going to sort of make our way back towards where the Queen was last. Hopefully she hasn't moved a muscle and she's waiting for us to get back. While we do that, let's go see what Jamie's been up to.
And while Brent's been racing forward after the wild dogs, I've been racing backwards away from a large elephant bull who's now sneaking through the bush towards me. I see you. You funny thing. What is wrong? There's a big elephant bull. He is in must. He's giving that must swagger. And it's amazing how something that large can melt into the bush. I reversed down the road because I saw him quite far away and he saw me quite far away. And he just gave that impression of... This was, obviously it's his right of way, but it was quite a narrow road, which meant that I had to, there he is, which meant that I didn't have much space and he wouldn't have had much space to pass me. So I moved off and I've reversed all the way back along the road until the next junction. And let's just see what he does. We've given him plenty of room now, so he should be fine. But let's just have a look. And of course, I think I recognize him. He's got a big slit in his ear. Hello, big boy. There he comes. You definitely are in must, aren't you? You're giving that impression. A massive elephant bull, one of the big bulls. You can see those thick, thick tusks. And this gentleman is easily over 30 years old. And it's always such a joy and a privilege to be in the presence of these giants. He's going to want to come down here. I just have a feeling he's going to decide he wants to be here, only because I'm here. Hey, boy, what do you think? Here he comes. Ah, marching on his way. There we go. Not too bothered now that we've moved away. Now, elephants actually... Oh, trunk full of sand. Elephants are actually relatively easy to read, and they're usually... Even for somebody inexperienced with elephants, it's usually very clear when they don't want you around. Not necessarily around, but when they'd prefer you to be further away, for example, or if they'd prefer you to not be in their way at all. And it's a very almost palpable feeling that they give. I know where he's going to go. Let's just see if we can go along parallel to him without bothering him too much. Do you mind, mister? He's a lovely big old bull. Which way are you going to go? Here he goes. See how stealthy they are. How incredibly quiet. Moving through the vegetation, you wouldn't think that something that large, 5 tons, could be so incredibly quiet. And that, of course, has to do with the cushions at the bottom of their feet. Problematic moments in that they are obviously very interested in the company of the ladies, and at the same time they also want to prove that they are the biggest and scariest thing out there. Now, he's actually not in full must. He's definitely not. He's not dribbling urine, which when an elephant is in the height of his must, they will do. They'll dribble quite a lot of urine, actually. You'll see the back of the inside of their back legs will be coated in it, and it gives off a very particular scent. But if you're not close enough to see those things, perhaps you see an elephant walking down the road, they have what's known as a must swagger. Now, a must swagger is basically where the ears are up higher than the shoulders. And it's just the slightest change in the way that they hold their head. And they'll often have it's a swagger. It is quite literally a swagger. And once you see it once, you'll know exactly what I mean. Many of you will know what I mean from watching these live safaris. Hey, mister. You are beautiful. There you go. He's perfectly content with us now. Not bothered at all. I think it was just because he was aware that the road was quite narrow. And in fact, I don't think he is actually in must at all. Now that I look at him properly, I think he was just trying to get us out of his way, or letting us know to get out of his way plenty ahead of time. I've heard some stories, and I've seen some pictures, and I've seen, of course, the desecration around the Djuma sign, or the DRC sign, that was knocked over by angry Ellie, who has apparently been hanging out around Djuma. I'm not sure. I haven't actually properly been introduced to Angry Ellie, something that I'm quite happy about, quite glad about. But apparently there has been an elephant hanging around Djuma that's a little bit bad-tempered and a little bit cantankerous. He was in must, as far as I know, and I've heard he chased a few vehicles around and then decided to take out his frustrations on the sign outside our camp, which is all part and parcel of living out here in the home of these amazing animals. I'm not sure. I've never had a proper encounter with Angry Ellie, so I'm not sure if it is him or not. Maybe those, I don't know if anyone in final control would be able to recognize him. He's got a very big slit out of his left ear. His right ear's got one as well, but it's much more noticeable in his left. He's got quite large tusks as well, quite thick tusks. He's a big boy, quite an old boy. So I'm not sure. It could well be Angry Ellie. I haven't encountered Angry Ellie before. And perhaps needs a slightly better name. Angry Ellie does not inspire confidence. Ouch. Biting fly. Right, from Angry Jamie being attacked by flies and an Angry Ellie moving off, let's go to a very not angry Byron, see what he's up to.
I'm not angry at all, Jamie. I'm scared. You've got angry elephant. Brent's got wild dogs running around. There's leopards. This has been a hectic afternoon. I don't know how I feel about being out here on foot. So I'm hiding at the moment. But what I have found while I've been hiding is a beautiful little flower. Have a look at this. Look at that lovely purple flower. Now, I do know what this is. This is a poison apple. Now, it does get fruit. I don't see any on it at the moment, and it is apparently poisonous for us. I've never tried it, but that's a poison apple. Sorry, Jean, I was moving it around a bit there. I think it's all the nerves with all these animals around. I was actually hoping, to be honest, Jean and I were both hoping that the wild dog came through the clearings now, because generally wild dog, when they do know their territories very well, they know where the clearings are, and they know that there's most likely going to be impala, especially with those young lambs at the moment, and even the wildebeest with their calves. Now, I've seen wild dog run and try and catch wildebeest, and the wildebeest actually form a ring around the calves to protect them. So it wouldn't be that easy for wild dog to catch wildebeest. But with the impala, it's perfect prey for wild dog. And I was wondering if they wouldn't turn from the Gallagher pan and come back to the clearings, possibly try and hunt around here, even though there aren't impala here at the moment. Perhaps they would have thought that there's food, but. So I was hoping to see them on foot, but unfortunately not this time. It would be incredible to see wild dogs running past us on foot. I'm going to leave the poison apple. Let's see what else we can find around here. I saw some of my favorite grass earlier, and hang on, here we go. There's some of it right here. Look at this. This is a beautiful... and there's a whole bunch of... Yeah, that's actually much better, Chandra. You're right. Now, this grass is known as Natal Red Top, Melanus repens. Now, this is... Why I say it's my favorite grass. It was one of the first grasses that I learnt about. And I just really love the fluorescence. The inflorescence, sorry. And
I'm just lying on the ground, everybody. Oh, because it's so nice here. Beautiful afternoon. But we found something that initially I assumed was what it's disguised to be. Now tell me if that to you doesn't look like the dropping of a bird. And it is not the dropping of a bird, it is a moth that is disguised as the dropping of a bird. Now, if your main predator is a bird, what better way to remain disguised from it than to look like its own droppings? Because that is definitely not going to inspire any bird to try and eat it. And it's sitting on the Waltheria plant and waiting patiently for the Waltheria plant to produce its little flower, and then it will suck some nectar from that. Isn't that cool? A little dung-shaped moth. I mean, I had to touch this thing because I was so convinced that it was, in fact, dung. But if I open it up there, now you can see it move. Oh, here it is. So cool. Can you see it there, Craig?
Just about.
Craig says he can just about see it. You got it now?
Yeah.
Now, every single time I do this at this time of the year, get down on the ground, I'm astounded by the amount that I've found. Now, we're going to look at this moth. I don't know what it is, and then I'm going to show you 3 or 4 other things that I've found here. Once Craig has zoomed out. There we are. Look down over here. We've got a leaf with a whole lot of caterpillar or moth eggs. Could easily be the eggs of the, what we'll call the bird turd moth. So the bird turd moth could easily have laid those there. That's very cool. And then I'll pick this for you, Craig, so you don't need to come over this way. It's so delicate. Hang on. This could easily be the caterpillar of the bird turd moth. Shall I put him on there? Look at this chap. Could easily be the caterpillar of the bird turd moth. And all of them sitting around one tiny little plant. This one was sitting on some grass quite close to the Waltheria, but the Waltheria is surrounded by a number of different plants. And I just think that's rather gorgeous. And I bet if we stayed here for a bit longer, we'd probably find some grasshoppers, some ants, various fly species. Now, the other thing I found also was a little baby tiny grasshopper. Oh, and an insect I don't know how to identify. Sorry, Craig. This is it's flown away. You see it there? No, it's flown away again. Never mind. There was a little grasshopper in here. And this only happens in summer, of course. In the wintertime, you wouldn't find any of this. You'd just be lying in the dust, waffling on about nothing on earth. No, I cannot find the grasshopper anymore, but Brent Leo Smith has returned to Windsor Castle.
Look at this. Karula is still napping in the same spot. Isn't that wonderful? So she is oblivious of the bolting wild dogs that ran past. So she is oblivious of the bolting wild dogs that ran past. Karula is still napping in the Sala Hershes, but she might be of a similar age to Karula. Other than that, Tundi and Shadow are definitely younger than her, as well as some of the new young females we've been seeing recently. Of course, Tundi and Shadow, for those who don't know, are her first litter of cubs. It's very upset. Go away, birds. And they're definitely not upset by Karula. Maybe we'll go have a poke down there just now, see if there's anything down there. It could be Hasana terrorizing the go-away birds. They could just be having a domestic argument. Just try to see. I'm just going to move the vehicle, see if we can see the go-away birds. And see, Karula has not moved an inch. Just trying to see where they are. Can you see the go-away birds, Byron? Karula doesn't seem too perturbed at whatever's perturbing them. I can't see them though. Let's just try a little bit further forward. No sign of the go-away birds now. They seem to have fluttered off. And poor Connor wasn't... wild dogs weren't playing along for Connor today and his drone. So let's see if he can come have a look at us with the Queen of Djuma. You might hear Connor coming in. It's amazing that this is a much bigger drone than we used to have, and it's much quieter than the little one. I have spotted the drone. You see it there, Brian? Oh. Drone Commander Connor Teague's coming in. And as you can see, Karula has not even reacted to the sound of the approaching drone. There we go. She might look up at it, but well, she might be getting used to. We've flown it over Karula a few times now. You can see, as I said, she might have a glance up towards the drone, but it's actually right above us, and she hasn't even lifted her head. Okay, we're going to go have a look. There we go, you can see what Connor was seeing, or what you're seeing from the air. You can see our vehicle, and there's a big termite mound just in front of us, and that's Karula. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly what you're seeing, apart from maybe, no, I don't think you can even see me or Brian under our roof, even if I... Oh, so apparently you can make out Karula on the termite mound, and now we're going to do a little 360. And there we go, you might be able to see me now. Hi guys, we're waving, Brian and I are waving at you. Karula has still not moved an inch, her head is not raised. Oh, it's pretty lights on the bottom of the drone. There we go. This is incredible, we are able to do this. And live, it astounds me sometimes, the incredible things we are able to bring you live from the bush. And you've just flown, nearly flown a full 360 degrees around us. There we go. And you're going to come and join me on the vehicle shortly. And you can see how much the Queen cares about the eye in the sky. She did not open her eyes or even glance up at the drone. What's the drone's name, Brian? Duncan. Is it Duncan the drone?
Yeah,
Duncan the drone. Let's hope.
Mavis the Matrice.
Or Mavis the Matrice, because it is a Matrice. Oh, the old drone was Duncan. Maybe it's Mavis. Mavis. Now, this was built by Connor. Apparently this is Marvin, okay. Marvin the drone. And you can hear a bit of a buzz from it. As you can see, Karula not perturbed in the slightest. Well, as you can see, the drone's probably about 40 feet, 50 feet above us. And you can see Karula not even looking at it. And you can see her. Probably quite an interesting view from the top. She's probably really tucked in between the different sort of pinnacles of this termite mound. Absolutely gorgeous. You might be able to see Brian. It's on Brian's side if Brian decides to wave. Wave, Brian. I don't know. There it is. Hi, guys. Incredible. I feel like something's watching us, Brian. So apparently with our rain roofs on, we look like one of the vehicles from the Flintstones. That's probably an apt description. It's about as easy to drive through the bush after wild dogs in a Flintstone vehicle as it is with the roof on. And keep wondering, come on, Karula, it's time to go hunting. Or not, it's probably time to snooze. I think she's only going to get moving when it's a bit darker today. Hopefully before the end of the safari. Oh, there was one tiny little leg stretch. We'll continue to play the patience game with Queen Karula. While we do that, let's go see Jamie, who's found a tiny little feathered friend.
How cute is this tiny little feathered friend? It is absolutely adorable. It's a little baby Magpie Shrike, and I think quite possibly taking its very first few experimental flaps outside of its nest and begging constantly, begging the adults for something to eat. It is so cute. There's one of the adults there with the long tails. They are such gorgeous shrikes. Both the males and the females have those long tails throughout the year, which is always, I find, quite an interesting approach. But you can see that this tiny baby is or has just started to fledge. It's still got baby feathers around the front of it, and the primary feathers around the wings are so tiny. Oh, and it's making such a noise. Begging constantly. Maybe a face that some of you with hungry toddlers might be familiar with, or have in the past had hungry toddlers. Food. I'm interested to see what's happening here, because magpie shrikes are cooperative breeders. In other words, the previous generation will stick around and help the adults, the parents, to feed the next set of chicks. And there were other adults around. I don't know where they've vanished to now, but I actually think that the rest of the babies are in a buffalo thorn that's behind me. I can hear some frantic chirping emanating from there as well. I can't see properly. Well done, VM. There we go, up a little bit. There we go. I think, yes, those short tails, I think that's where the rest of the chicks are. Now the question is, oh, cute. The two of them together. There's two little chicks there. I'm sorry, I know it's a really difficult view. Well done, VM, managing to spot them. Now that's a typical spot for a magpie shrike nest. They love to make their nests, their little cup-shaped nests, in thorn trees. It's a great protective strategy. Makes life much harder for potential predators. Now the question is that nest over there? And in that case, has our little noisy chick gone wandering a bit too far away? They're chirping together. I can't see any sign of a nest, but I think... oh, is it going to get fed? Is it going to get its wish? Look at it! Oh, those poor parents. That must be constant all day. All day, every day. Oh, well done! Not the best flying attempt in the world. Or you might even be seeing this baby bird's first flight. How cool is this? Oh. There we go. That was almost like the adult was holding it to try and get it to come to it, like a baby taking its first steps. I don't know if that's the case, but it was almost like it was encouraging it to get to the next branch. Perhaps attempting to lead it back to the nest. Hey, well done. Okay, admittedly more jumping than actual flying, but not bad for one of its first attempts. How are you going to get back to your nest, little one? Oh, man, this whole balancing thing's a bit tricky. Oh, back down again. Look what I can do, Mum. Oh, it's a good point coming through from a heron. Thank you for that. Very, very good point. You want to know if the birds are not looking for trouble, or baby birds not looking for trouble by calling like that constantly. Absolutely, they could attract unwanted attention. Something might decide to follow that call, and perhaps that's why it's a good idea to try and learn these first few fluttering stages of flight by doing so in a thorn tree, which is exactly what this little one has done. It might act as a discouragement for something like a small cat, a wildcat, for example, or a serval. That might be potential predators for a tiny bird like this. I guess the benefits of attracting your parents' attention outweigh the dangers of squawking so loudly that you attract the attention of absolutely everything in the vicinity. Although I'm sure the parents would prefer if it kept a little bit quieter. But a good point, Heron. Yes, it is asking for trouble in a way, especially because this whole flight thing is not terribly well coordinated just yet. I would guess and say that these little guys have a very, very rapid fledgling time period. So probably from hatching, I would guess at 30 days to grow their feathers and be ready to fly. Correct me if I'm wrong, those of you with access to Google, but that would be my guess. They're sort of medium-sized shrikes. And generally, altricial birds, so birds that are born naked and helpless, hatch naked and helpless, let's be more specific, they tend... Oh! Lots of begging happening. They tend to fledge quite quickly, which makes sense because they are so vulnerable. I think that this little chap does have two siblings, as I mentioned earlier. David, you wanted to know if baby birds will play much in the way that, say, our Nkahuma cubs might play. I don't think so. I've never seen baby birds playing with each other. It doesn't seem to be. And of course, play is such an important part in the development of our cats. We've seen it with our cubs, we've seen it with Karula's cubs, building up their strength, their tactics, their techniques. It's all crucial for when they do reach adulthood, which is a good reason behind playing. But do baby birds play? Not that I know of. I don't know if any of you out there perhaps have had birds, have raised birds. Maybe you know if chicks will ever play with each other. I don't think so. I think they spend so much time in competition with each other, trying to have the loudest voice, the widest mouth, so that they get the best access to food. Look at it! Oh, such a clever little baby. Hop, hop, hop. It's tough when your wings are so tiny. Now what? It's getting dark, little one, and you should really be safe and tucked away now, not playing from branch to branch. You have, if this is a separate nest, you have strayed a little bit too far. So cute. What are you doing? Yes, that's the ground. You don't want to land on it. I love this time of year. You get to experience these completely unique moments. This is the first time I've ever seen a baby Magpie Shrike. And now? Now what are you going to do? Whoa, silence. The silence is positively deafening. Ah, there we go. I was going to say, it has to be a little squawk coming soon. All right, little one. Well, good luck in your endeavours. I hope you find your way back to your nest. I know. Marisha is thinking exactly the same thing I was, which is imagine how busy the poor parents are going to be over the next few days. Absolutely. Thank goodness they have helpers. They're gone now, but there were definitely 3 adults around that would be able to help. But still, I'm with you. I'm completely with you. And it's going to be a very busy time for our adult birds as they keep all of those hungry mouths fed. Right, as it gets dark, it's time for little baby birds to be in their nests. And of course, it's also time for bushwalk to start heading home. Let's head across to Byron.
Oh, Jamie, are you calling me a baby bird? Stop it. We've come back to the position where we started our bushwalk. We might have caught the bush babies coming out of that hole, but no sign of the snake or the bush babies. But what a wonderful start to the walk. It was an incredible scene, having birds alarm calling at the snake, seeing the reaction of the snake, trying to basically strike at the birds to get them away from him, or her rather. It was a female boomslang. And then also the bush babies jumping around. And I said, I've never seen a bush baby during the day. So that really was a fascinating sighting and a great start to the walk. And then, of course, finding Karula on foot, it was just great. Such an adrenaline rush. And it was so wonderful to see her just lying on the termite mound. So we are going to finish our bushwalk. So from myself, Byron, and Jean on camera this afternoon, thank you very, very much for joining us. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Let's go back to Jay and see what he's up to.
I was just doing my own version of the ident song there. Did you think it was good? I thought it was wonderful. Now, we're going to show you something from inside the tent. I was fosking about out here, and that is why I had to begin my link outside, you see. Now I'm coming back inside via the window, like a thief in the night. Oops, there's littering all over the place. And what we have over here is something quite special. This is a toxic plant. I don't know what toxic plant it is. We can't figure it out. But thereon is the larva of a monarch butterfly. And I want to show you the colors of this quite spectacular creature underneath the microscope. Well done, Craig. That was excellently done. I've got to encourage these young people, you know, otherwise they become very discouraged with life. Oh, hang on. Right, there we go. Have a look at that. Now that's the back end of it, that's its tail. And we'll just go along it. And there is its mouth. Now I've been trying to get these caterpillars to eat the whole day. I've been sat here trying with the African migrant, now of course with the African monarch, and I've failed dismally to make them eat anything. And I think it's because it's quite cold, and I think they're too cold to eat. The other day, Brian and I had a quite astonishing sighting of a caterpillar eating leaves, and it was devouring acacia leaves. And it was just beautiful to watch how the mouth moved. And I was hoping to try and repeat that tonight, but that doesn't seem to be possible, and I think it's because it's too cold. So I think when it heats up, they will start to eat. So I'm going to keep this monarch thing, and I'm going to bring a whole lot of, I'm going to bring it a whole lot of stuff to eat. Connor has got a few minutes left in the air. Let's go and take a look and see if we can see the sun. Ah, beautiful impalas, much impalas and nyalas. All over quarantine there. That's gorgeous. And they're all coming onto the clearings for the night. You can see a nyala top right there. There is the camp where we shall all go shortly. Oh, that's via Telecamp. We won't be staying there, no. We'll be staying in the DRC. That's just in the sort of, well, that's basically that shiny bit you can see in the middle of your screen now, disappearing slowly to the right-hand side. And a wonderful herd of antelope there, grazing, browsing, and looking out for predators, and all very relieved that those wild dogs didn't come anywhere near here. They turned north. They could so easily have terrorized these impala and the nyala, and I mean, one wonders why they didn't. Why didn't they come down here? And I can only say that given what I've been reading lately about wild dogs and how much of their hunting seems to be almost entirely at random, and indeed what was perceived before as some kind of hunting strategy seems to be largely random. In other words, when we've talked about them in some kind of teamwork effort, with one going in front and the other heading it off and hanging back and then waiting, and then when the front runners tire, that one takes over, it seems to be largely nonsense, actually. And it's just random running at whatever they see. So if they'd turned right instead of left, once they got to the pan at Galago, they could easily have come across that herd of impala or the nyala, and, well, there could have been a kill on quarantine clearings. As it is, they've gone north into Buffelshoek, and we have a very peaceful herd of nyala and impala sitting on quarantine very shortly. Now, Kathy, you're wondering where we live. You say you've been watching Safari Live for a couple of weeks now and wondering, do we all live here? We do live here, and has Connor still got any? No, I think he's run out of battery. Would have been quite nice to show you where we live. In fact, come outside, Kathy. Just because we're about to go into TV and I'm feeling magnanimous, I'll have a show for you of where we are. What you see here is quite interesting. These are people who work with us there. Two of them at least, seem to have finished work early, Geraldine Kent and the foster-care-in-chief, Taylor. But we live just beyond there, everyone, and that's where the final control is. And Kathy, the reason we live here, of course, is because, well, we're nowhere really near civilization. This is civilized-ish, I suppose. The closest town is a place called Hluvukani, which is a rural settlement not too far from here. The closest rural settlement is a place called Dixie. The closest, what you might define as a town, is Acornhoek, and that's about, it's a good hour's drive from here. And then where Brent and Jamie live in Hoedspruit is an hour and a half. So it would be totally impracticable for us to go in and out, especially given that we start our drives so very early in the morning. So we do live here, and in fact it's one of the real benefits for me of working for Safari Live and working in the bush. It means I get to live out in the wilderness. Let's head across to Jamie. I'm not entirely sure what she has, but I'm no doubt she'll tell you about it, and it will be interesting.
It is indeed lovely living out here in the wilderness, and of course this male lion absolutely agrees, as he has a jolly good scratch and sticking his tongue out to the satisfaction of having such a jolly good scratch. Hey, mister, it's very clearly Mfumo. You've got an itchy elbow there by any chance? Somebody's hungry, saggy belly. There you go, there's the tongue. All of our lions do that when they scratch. And it is the exact same thing, the tongue coming out. Oh boy, you've opened it up again. Properly opened it up, it looks like. Now this is Mfumo, one of the Birmingham boys. Earlier we mentioned the fact that it was definitely Tinyo with him. He seems to have opened up an old wound that's on the side of his face. We've watched him for months with that wound healing, and it seems as though he's done it damage once again. Obviously the infection, I guess, the infection hadn't fully cleared up, so it was bursting open. Shame, mister. That looks uncomfortable again. Absolutely astounding. That's a guarri bush. Don't lick the guarri bush. Amazing, the resilience of these creatures and their immune systems. Well, we've arrived with perfect timing, because it's just as our two boys are thinking about getting up. Nice big yawn, showing off those teeth, and there's been some serious licking and scratching, so I think our boys are planning it as time to go and head out. I wonder which way they're going to head. And go making sure all the claws are clean. Tinyo's scratching now. There he goes, cleaning the claw sheaths. I'm just listening carefully while we're here. I've just heard some kudu alarm calling, and I don't think they're alarm calling at the lions. There's an antelope barking somewhere behind me, and I suspect I saw male leopard tracks coming onto the reserve. There's a good chance it could actually be Tingana wandering around, so we'll keep an eye out for him as well and keep listening to see whether there are any more alarm calls. I don't want to go rushing off and leave these lions because they're most definitely going to be up and about soon, and I'm hoping that before the end of our sunset safari they're going to give us a roar. And welcome to Laura, who's obviously been enjoying some of our better sightings. Laura, you wanted to know, and I must say I was very jealous of FW's sighting in this particular instance. He wanted to know whether or not this is the lion that the chameleon was crawling on. I could be wrong, and please correct me if I am. I think that lion was Mfumo. So then, yes, and this is Tino at the moment. He's having a jolly good yoga pose. What? That whole sentence didn't make sense. He's having a jolly good yoga pose. Sometimes takes us a few moments to get back into the swing of things when we've had a break. Sorry, the line on the right, I think was the line with the chameleon. I didn't actually, obviously I saw the sighting, wasn't there. Oh, another big yawn. But I'm pretty sure it was Mfumo, but correct me if I'm wrong. Might have been Mfumo, it might have been Nsuku. I don't know. I think it was Mfumo though. Shame boy. You can see licking the side of his paw, and we've noticed him doing this a lot. He still worries at the face injury. I think it is sore. Oh, apparently it was Mfumo. Goody. So I'm not completely mad. It was Mfumo that had the tiny chameleon. And for those of you that are wondering what on earth we're talking about, that is a truly extraordinary sighting. Oh. Head rub. Male lions are actually often more affectionate than females towards each other. There's a lot of bonding that goes into the coalition, keeping the coalition members tightly grouped together. And it's important. They risk their lives for each other. They die for each other. So it's important to be very fond of your buddy, even to the point of sitting on him. Oh, I thought you were going to get moving. Take care. You wanted to know how far we are from these boys. Oh, hold on, sorry. Brotherly cuddles. It's nice to see this side of them. Another big yawn. You being very cutesy this evening. I almost want to go and scratch his belly. Sorry, take care. Actually, that brings me very, very neatly to your question. You want to know how far away we are. A little bit further than we were earlier. I've stopped here just to see which way they decide to go. We're probably about 60, 70 feet away from these lions, so not far at all. It is important to remember that they are wild, so I would never actually go up and give one a jolly good belly rub, because he really wouldn't like that, and he'd probably eat me. So they are completely wild, but they are very, very comfortable with us in the presence of the vehicles. So that means that we can get right up close and personal to them without bothering them. I was listening to another car somewhere. Look at that. That was such a stunning pose those two adopted. Beautiful. So we're not in any danger from them. They're not going to jump into the car. They don't see us as food, and they don't see us as a threat. However, now is right about the time, and that's why Byron's gone home, when human beings should no longer be on foot. During the day, if I were to walk up to them, they would run away or sit and watch me and growl, but they certainly would 99.9% of the time not attack. But at night, it becomes a lion's domain. Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm saying hello to one of the other vehicles that's just come in. It would certainly be a very bad idea to go walking on foot, because night is when lions are king. Are you planning on moving at all? Or are you just going to let Mfumo wander off all on his own? Bit of a lazy start this evening. Tinua's standard expression is disgruntled. I think it's the lip scar. I think it's the lip scar. It gives him a slightly raised lip on his left side. And then it gives him a disgruntled look. Now he's got the hooded eyes. He wants to go back to sleep. Oh boy. Right now he just looks thoroughly unimpressed with the idea of actually moving anywhere. I wonder where Mfumo's gone. There we go. He's looking up, looking at where Mfumo's gone. Now Vicky wants to know if they... Oh, he's coming back. How convenient. Vicky wants to know if I think they can hear me. Yes, they can. Absolutely they can. They're fully aware of our presence. They don't obviously understand the words that I'm saying, but all animals to a greater or lesser degree will understand tone. So much in the same way that we understand being shouted at in any language, so will a male lion. I'm sorry, I'm trying to work out what on earth is in my car that's making a noise. There's something living in this vehicle with me. Oh, it's buzzing. Okay, it's buzzing. That's good. That means beetle, not reptile. These are strange sounds coming from close to my feet. Okay, well now I know what it is, roughly what it is. I can ignore it. I just didn't want to find myself surprised by a snake. So while our male lions decide as to whether or not they're in fact going to get moving, let's head back over to the Queen of Djuma, find out what she's up to.
Well, just like the lions, the Queen is not moving either. She is still looking very, very comfy atop her termite mound. And it's quite weird, it's so quiet at the moment. You can hear a few birds in the distance, but it is very, very, very quiet. I'm trying to listen to how many bird species I can hear. Actually quite a few, I think I've got 7 there. You can hear in the distance faintly, you can hear a red-chested cuckoo. The chittering of a cesticula and the zitting of probably a little blue wax ball, maybe possibly a petilia. Of course, we have the doves. A go-away bird and a fork-tailed drongo. Of course, there's also insects around. You can hear a cricket. Hello, Willow. Willow is 4 years old, and Willow wants to know, does the kitty like to sleep on dirt? Well, Willow, there's no one to make a bed for her, so she always sleeps on dirt. And as you can see, she does like it. She's very comfortable. Snoozing, she's even got a pillow. Quickly to Jamie.
There you go. There's nothing as spectacular. No. There's one thing more spectacular than hearing a male lion roar, and that's hearing 2 of them roar at the exact same time. How cool was that? Yes, boy, thank you. I was so hoping they were going to roar before the end of the sunset safari, and they very kindly obliged. Look at that face. Perfect. Hopefully they'll give us one more rendition of that call before the evening falls and it's the end of the sunset safari. But that is them. For those of you that are new, that's them announcing a show of strength to the world, and also, of course, calling to, not necessarily in search of a response, but letting the rest of their coalition know where they are and what they're doing. Not what they're doing, but where they are in relation to the others. And it gives them a really good way of being able to spread out and patrol properly and make sure that all of the corners of their territory are covered, so that no other male lion thinks that it would be a good idea to come waltzing in. And it would be a very bad idea with the 4 Birmingham boys around. Just wanted to show you something, because I mentioned it earlier, and it flew out of... Oh, bye! Wait. It came charging, zooming out of the... Oh. Oops. Bye. It came zooming out of next to our first aid kit. Oh dear. Sorry, Dung Beetle. It's okay, you'll be fine. He can fly. I'll give him plenty of opportunity to move away before I drive away. But anyway, that was what was buzzing around and making all of that noise. And he flew straight out at my face and he got such a shock. Right, I'm going to sit patiently with our beautiful lions and wait for them to roar once again. While we do that, let's head over to James so that he can say farewell.
That was spectacular to hear, wasn't it? Wonderful stuff. We haven't had those lions around for some length of time. Now, from one great predator of the ground, let us go to a predator of the sticks. I don't mean the sticks pride, of course, I mean sticks, literally. Wait. Oh. Behold. Hello. This is a little mantis that Craig managed to find. Isn't that cool? Look at his funny mouth parts. Now, it is, of course, a deeply voracious predator, this thing, and will be waiting for a mate. She will mate with the mate and then eat him, and then she will carry on finding sticks and things, and she will be eating much else in her life until she lays her eggs and then eventually drops dead. Yes, that's what I said. You saw her turn her head there in astonishment. Astonishment isn't in fact a word. Now, I've got the microscope at the wrong angle, so I'm finding it very difficult to figure out which way to turn it. There we go. Isn't that lovely? And you can see her little eyeballs and her antenna and the deadly spikes on her foot. Look at that. Oh, yes. Yes, that's very deadly. Okay, I'll just show her to you in the camera now quickly. That's her there. So she's tiny, and she looks just like a stick. Isn't she cool? That's very cool. All right, everyone, that's going to be it from the tent today. We're going to clean up here and see you tomorrow, probably in the tent as well from me. Thank you, Craig, for your efforts today. Let's go back across to those lions and the roaring Jamie.
Apparently, Brent can hear the males responding elsewhere on our reserve, and you can see our males listening intently. And that's good news, because it means that we might be treated to another spectacular performance before the night is out. You can see heads up, alert, ears out and listening. And there's all sorts of interesting things that happen when a lion roars. You can hear the members of their coalition responding in turn, essentially doing exactly what they did and letting the rest of them know where they are. And then you also will get the response of neighboring rival territorial males that will also be certain that they want to reinforce their own territorial boundaries, which to the west of the Birminghams is the Majingilan's territory. Look, he's listening. What did he hear? Amazing, that intently focused look. What did you see? And remember, of course, I also heard those alarm calls coming from behind us. Now, I don't know what caused that. It could be a leopard, could be another lion, I suppose. There we go, relaxed again. I'm going to give his buddy another head rub. Ah, Shelley, lovely to hear from you. Oh, Shelley. Oh, big yawn. Sorry, Shelley. Hold on 1 second. I just want to see what these boys are going to do. Shelley, you want to know how big a lion's paw is. The answer is as big as a man's hand. They are absolutely massive. They're very, very large indeed. And when we have a chance to, if you keep watching, we'll show you what male lion tracks look like. And you can see them. If I spread out my hand, that essentially encircles the size of a lion track on the ground. So they have absolutely massive feet. Once again, Tino showing reluctance to move. He basically just kind of wanted to go and lie on him for more and relax a little bit more, but he seems to be abandoned. Oh, big stretch. He's making little kitty cat noises, which is very embarrassing for a big scary male lion. Making little whines as he stretches. Let's wait and see if Mfumo calls again. As soon as Mfumo starts, then Tinyo follows suit. Come on, boy. Now he just looks a bit hunched over and miserable. He wasn't really ready to get up. It's like having a morning person and a person who's not a morning person combined together. And the immediate activity of the morning person invariably annoys the one that's not. I think Tinyo's feeling a little bit like that now. He really didn't want to get up. They're both hungry. They're both empty-bellied and they're both hungry. And the question is now whether or not they're going to head off and go and search for their own food, or if they're going to go and search for some of their lady friends to go and share a meal. Now, I don't know where the Nkuhumas are. Obviously, I've been away for a few days, so everything changes while you're away. I'm not quite sure where the Nkuhumas are. If I had to guess, I'd say Buffelshoek, which is to the north of us. But Tinyo and Mfumo tend to spend a lot more time with the Nkuhumas than the other two members of their coalition do. Dopily dozing off again. Oh, here we go. Awesome. Yay. I'm so glad that they did that for us one last time before we reach the end of the sunset safari. For those of you that are perhaps seeing that for the first time or hearing it for the first time, it's happening right here and right now. Isn't that incredible? We can actually feel it when we sit next to the lions when they roar like this. We can feel it through the vehicle. It vibrates up through the floor, and I can feel it in my feet and in my chest. You can feel it vibrating through. So it really is a truly awe-inspiring sound, and it's definitely something that you should watch more of on our TV show at 11 p.m. on Nat.Geo Wild on Sunday evening. For those of you, of course, in the States, you'll be able to experience more moments just like this. Big yawn. Tinyo's thinking about getting up now. Thinking about it, but with great reluctance. Right. Well, I think that's it for our male lions this evening. Keep watching the dam camera. They might be calling throughout the night. But it is time for Wiem and myself to bid you farewell. So thank you, Wiem. And thank you to all of you. It's lovely to be back. And I will catch up with you tomorrow for the sunrise safari. Bye-bye, everybody.
Well, it has been a very relaxing afternoon for the Queen of Djuma, and she still has not moved a muscle, as we're hoping she might go off to hunt before the end of the safari. She's very close to quarantine, so those of you who watch the Djuma Dam cam, there could be a chance she might pop up down towards the waterhole at some point this evening, so keep those eyes peeled. But what a fantastic sunset safari. It's been great to be back. Wild dogs, leopards, and Japanese had lions roaring, and of course the lovely elephant bull, and Byron with that incredible bush baby, and boomslang sighting, and James being his usual wonderful self in the tent. But of course we will be doing it right and ready and bright and early tomorrow morning for the sunrise safari. maybe Karula will catch something close to home and we don't even have to drive far before finding the royal family. And who knows what those lions are going to get up to. And as I said, there's lions calling to the north, so maybe the Nkuhumas will come back. That would be wonderful. I feel like I haven't seen them in an age. But otherwise, we'll be looking for all the wonders of Africa. And for the last few seconds of drive, I'm sure you'd much rather look at the reclining queen, Karula. And it is wonderful to have her so close to home. And we wish her the best of luck as she goes off into the darkness later to hunt and hopefully keep those little rascals well fed. So from all of us here at Safari Live, see you bright and early tomorrow morning.